So one of the most important things to me is that I present myself in the way that I need to, or that I want to, as a way of letting people know, or letting young people know that, look, here I am. And of course, I'm aware that it leads to questions, which I'm always happy to answer. Because I think with understanding comes a better psychological comfortable place that allows other people to understand why we do certain things. So I like answering questions when young people ask me questions about why I do what I do, why I paint, what am I paint, why am I dress up, all of these things. Um,
Mm.
so I'm usually invited to colleges or schools to give a speech, or to present my work. And that often starts from my early works, which were more kind of, traditional, realistic type paintings. And what tends to happen is this gives the audience or young people a better understanding that, Eugene did not just wake up one day and just
Mm.
end up the way he looks, or doing what he does, but actually it started way back, for various reasons.
Mm.
And he's here now because of the journey and because of his experiences. And that whole narrative, that story, I think is really, really important, because it's really important that we allow young people to understand that everything takes time. And
Mm.
that, the thing that you want to be, or the thing that you're meant to be, isn't going to happen overnight. And therefore be patient with yourself and with the journey. So that whole thing is really, really important in my presentations. Um, Secondly, as I mentioned a little bit earlier, um, as you might know, in London, London has a serious knife crime problem. And it's taken so many, wonderful, innocent lives. Um, of course, we understand the whole situation behind gangs and whatever, but there are also a lot of innocent lives, who have been,
Mm.
whose lives have been cut short out of just being in the wrong place at the wrong time. Um,
Mm.
and that whole situation seriously affected me, and it really got me thinking. And I just didn't want to sit back and not do anything. So, you know, um, thinking about it for several months, I slept and had a dream, and came out of the dream, and there was a whole scene that was created in my mind, and it looked like a memorial scene and all of these things. So I'm talking about my project Reclaim. And so you can imagine, I grabbed, my materials and feverishly started sketching things down and writing meanings, what this meant and what that meant, and why this has to be this color, and why I need balloons and flowers and, drawings. But the drawings had to look a particular way, as I saw in my dream. So I put this whole thing together, and I thought, this is a powerful thing to actually engage young people with. And
Mm.
so with this project, or with the inception of this project, it became an idea of, I can actually engage young people in drawing and painting and making and understanding the direction of what I was doing. But actually, the message behind it was awesome, because not only was it going to allow them to express freely, I realized that at the very end of the project, it would bring loads of young people together, and it would bring their parents together, and it would bring community leaders together, and it would bring the police together, and it would bring politicians together. So the list just went on and on and on and on. And it got me really excited. So that became one of the things that I started in 2019, and I've continued with it. COVID got in the way, but as we speak in November, um, I'm going to be launching the kind of next stage of it. But yeah, this is just one example of, some of the things that I do, or a couple of examples. The visits, the presentation, and actually getting them involved so they can get their hands dirty. But, it's all the process. It's a learning, ongoing thing that, teaches them and it teaches me.